to our regular board meeting of the Pontiac School District. Those who are at home watching and those who are here in the audience, thank you so much for being here. It's wonderful to see all you amazing people. We have an amazing agenda set for today. So if you please share, like, and subscribe to the Pontiac School District Facebook page, and if something that you see that needs to be done in the district, feel free to leave your particular comments, because we do watch those throughout the meeting. And then also, so that you can see some of the wonderful things that we're doing throughout the Pontiac School District. So, Madam Dr. Hannah, Secretary, can you please give us roll call, please?
Sure. Trustee Bowman.
Present.
Trustee Kraft.
Here.
Trustee Davis Smith.
Present.
President Garrett.
Present.
VP Gross.
Present.
I'm here, and Treasurer Terry.
Present.
We have a quorum, 7-0.
All right, can we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please? I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Yeah, I gotta excuse me. I got a little jet lag and it's causing me a little. Vice President Gross gets me in trouble all the time.
Every day.
So, with that being said, need a motion on the floor to amend the agenda under awards and recognition of Trinity Reed, 2024 Communities and Schools Honorable Mention Student. And under the regular working agenda, the Board of Education discussion policy, removal of total number of meetings is going to be our first reading under the regular working agenda. It'll just be the first reading. And those are the recommendations for amending the agenda. Need a motion. Moved by Trustee Davis Smith.
Support.
Supported by Trustee Bowman. Questions, comments, or concerns? Hearing none, roll call.
Trustee Kraft.
Yes.
Trustee Davis Smith.
Yes.
President Garrett.
Yes.
VP Gross.
Yes.
I'm voting yes. Treasurer Terry.
Yes.
And Trustee Bowman.
Yes.
Passes 7-0.
All right, thank you. Need a motion on the floor to approve the amended agenda.
So move.
So moved by Trustee Gross, supported by Trustee Davis Smith. Questions, comments, or concerns about approving the amended agenda? Hearing none, roll call.
Trustee Davis Smith.
Yes.
President Garrett.
Yes.
VP Gross.
Yes.
I'm voting yes. Treasurer Terry.
Yes.
Trustee Bowman.
Yes.
And Trustee Kraft.
Yes.
Passes 7-0.
Awesome. We have a regular working agenda, so let's get started to one of my favorite parts of the agenda, awards and recognition of the Pontiac Middle School Optimist Club Oratorical winners. Dr. Leverett, the meeting is yours.
Thank you. Testing. Thank you, President Garrett, Board Trustees, our staff and community. This evening, we have several awards in recognition of just some outstanding students and staff. This recognition is of our Pontiac Middle School Optimist Club Oratorical winners. And the first certificate of distinction is proudly presented to Elon Harris in recognition of winning first place in the 2024 Pontiac Optimist Club Oratorical Competition. Congratulations and well done. We are proud of your work and achievements. Jannard Lawton in recognition of winning second place in the 2024 Pontiac Optimist Club Oratorical Competition. Congratulations and well done, Jannard. We are proud of your work and your achievements. Jannard, is he? No? Okay. Makai Francis in recognition of winning third place in the 2024 Pontiac Optimist Club Oratorical Competition. Congratulations and well done. We are proud of your work and achievements, Makai. Lane Dukes in recognition of winning fourth place in the 2024 Pontiac Optimist Club Oratorical Competition. Congratulations and well done. We are proud of your work and achievement. And it is not easy to stand before people and speak. And so it is one of the goals that we have as a district, and we actively work with our students on that. It's one of the literacy essentials, is being able to speak and listen and talk and write and communicate and articulate yourself. So for our students to have been able to participate in this oratorical contest, I'm really excited about that. So congratulations again to those students. The next students that we want to recognize is Pontiac Middle School Communities in Schools Student of the Year, Durante Rutledge. In recognition as a 2024 Communities in Schools Student of the Year, we are very proud of you and your achievements, Durante. This next recognition is of Pontiac Middle School Do the Right Thing participants. And again, going along with our reading, writing, speaking, and listening literacy goal, this is for Elon Harris. In recognition of their participation in Do the Right Thing, we are proud of you and your achievements. Delasia Mitchell. In recognition of their participation in Do the Right Thing, we are proud of you and your achievements. This next certificate of distinction is for recognition of a successful Tier 2 Student Anger Management Circle. Certificate of distinction. This certificate is proudly presented to Mr. Kevin Sanders in recognition of his unwavering commitment to our students each day. His dedication, passion, and partnership is valued, appreciated, and plays a vital role in the success of many of our students. Congratulations, Mr. Sanders. Please come forward to accept your award.
All right.
Certificate of distinction. This certificate is proudly presented to Trinity Reed in recognition of a 2024 Communities in Schools Honorable Mention Student Commitment to Improved Excellence. Congratulations, Trinity.
Right on time. Right on time. Go get it back.
You got anything to say?
Okay, Trinity.
Let's sit down, man. Leave that man alone.
It's an honor to be here today. I'm just thankful for everybody's support and helping me, get better, to be a better person in school, and not just in school and outside of school. And I want to thank my mom for encouraging me and pushing me through a lot of things. And CIS has been a good program to me to help me get better grades and have better behavior around school. And it's just amazing to me, And I just like to shout out to people like Mr. Sanders and my mom, my sisters for supporting me. Thank you.
Sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes. Prove them all wrong. Yes. Yes.
Thanks, kid.
I'm glad I asked.
Wow.
Hey, Doc, we just... Doc, what was his name? We had some students that just came in. We had some other students that just came in.
Amen.
I'm not...
No.
I'm sorry.
We had some students that just came in. If
What's your
I
name,
could
sir?
have your name.
Yeah, look around. Oh, you were here.
The young lady.
Oh, okay. Oh, he's one of the high schools. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Awesome, thank you. What grade is Trinity in? Sixth grade, Mr. Trinity? I know I should have asked you, sir. My apologies, sir. Thank you, sixth grade.
So impressed.
Wow.
All right, we're going to move down to recognition of elected officials. Any elected officials in the audience? We don't have any. We do have past board president and chair, secretary, and treasurer. No, she was not treasurer. Not doctor yet. That's her husband. Carol Turpin is here. Thank you for being here, madam. We move down to the consent agenda. Need a motion on the floor to approve.
So move.
Moved by trustee Gross, supported by trustee David Smith. Roll call, Dr. Secretary.
President Garrett.
Yes.
VP Gross.
Yes.
I'm voting yes. Treasurer Terry.
Yes.
Trustee Bowman.
Yes.
Trustee Kraft.
Yes.
And Trustee Davis Smith.
Yes.
Passes 7-0.
All right, thank you. We're going to move down to information from the superintendent and administration, restoring our future communities and schools in Michigan at Pontiac Middle School, where Mr. Kevin Saunders will be the presenter. Dr. Leverett, the meeting is yours.
Thank you, President Garrett. I don't think I have to open it up anymore. I can't say it better than Trinity did. This program is just really a testament to Mr. Kevin Sanders, the staff at Pontiac Middle School. It's just phenomenal under the leadership of Principal Coleman Jones, what he has been able to come in and do and work with our young people. And so with that being said, I will turn it over to Mr. Sanders, and he is the student support coordinator and just does an outstanding job with this program at Pontiac Middle School. At this time, we'll have a report. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, sir. Welcome.
All right, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
To the board president, vice president, to the trustees, superintendent, to all the officials, and to all of you, and to my supervisor that's here, Mr. Jason Crute of Communities and Schools. I'm so thankful to be here today, and thank you for allowing me this opportunity just to share the work. And you saw with Trinity, I'm so proud of him, and you'll be seeing him in the presentation of why this program is so beneficial, not only to our students at Pontiac Middle School, but I've seen it work with some other schools that I've been able to just go and talk with the students and staff. So I just want to give you just a quick overview. And I want to say thank you to the Pontiac School District, because actually, when it comes to restorative practices, Pontiac School District licensed me, and at the time it was Miss Miller and I, working with them about 7 years ago out in West Bloomfield, a 2-week training on restorative practices. And because of that, we've been able to see a lot of benefits from that. So just a quick overview. The restorative practice, it brings positive results. And we don't have to go, we can go to the next slide after that. The meat of restorative practices is just really getting to the core of a lot of the students' behaviors. We've been able to see Pontiac School District administrators, I think back in October, had the opportunity to go and train present it to all of the administrators of the school district, which was very successful, because we got to understand that suspension is not the top choice when a student is dealing with things. We were able to find out that there were so many layers that you have to peel off before looking at punitive measures for a student. And then our behavior specialists, we had 2 opportunities. I want to say thank you to Yvette Williams for allowing me to present to the restorative practices to all of our behavior specialists and to our counselors and our middle school staff and students. Just recently, I had the opportunity to be at Rogers Elementary with the 4th and 5th graders, and we did a group restorative, which was actually powerful because those 4th and 5th graders were honest. When you have a group of students in the gym, and I know a lot of teachers wanted to come in and say, do we need to be in there to control? No, the students did a phenomenal job at Rogers Elementary. And this coming Wednesday, I'll be at ITA working with the 4th and 5th graders there, and they've presented some things which I can understand, some of the anger and the frustration that our young people are going through. And so this coming Wednesday, we're going to do a community circle with the 4th and 5th graders, where they're going to sit with each other and have a transparent conversation of the why. Why don't you like this person? What is your issue with that individual? They talk about it on social media and on TikTok, but they never talk about it with each other. And so this is going to be really powerful, and we're looking forward to that. If we can go to the next slide. And I'm just going to skim through this because for the sake of time. But it's an approach to a solution that focuses on addressing the harm. The whole purpose of restorative practice is addressing the harm. What teachers and administrators and people in the school, what they think is the issue is not. A lot of people say a student is a bad child. That's not the case. There's layers and layers and layers that you have to dig deep down and find out, why is this child acting the way they're acting, or why did they get kicked out of class? Once they come into a restorative circle, we're able to find that out. Now, it takes some time and it takes a lot of patience. During our restorative practices, although the students are being referred to because of a conflict, we've been able to find out, if an administrator sends a student or some students because of a fight or a conflict, we found out that students are angry because of not having electricity at home, not having food in the house, taking care of all their siblings while their parents are at work. So they're coming to school angry and upset and frustrated. Out of respect to the teachers, they don't have time to ask these questions. All right? And so the restorative practices, we cover the conflict last. The first objective is the why. And I have seen such a great increase of results with students sharing their why. After that, we're able to direct them to the proper resources to help them, whether it be counseling or therapy or medical services. I've had parents to come and say, thank you for whatever you pulled out of my child because I didn't know these things. So now we're looking at parent engagement. If we can go to the next slide. Out of these 4 R's of restorative practices, the main one that I would like to just put emphasis on is repair. Our students need to be repaired. There's a lot of wounds and scars. I have noticed the height of the issues is before break and after break. Before Christmas break or before any midwinter break, spring break. It's an elevation of emotions and anger and frustration, and we've noticed that. When they come back, our restorative practices have increased when the students come back from break because now you have to get them back into the mindset of an academic environment. In the circles, most students have been very honest. And the issue that they have is not with the person that they're in the room with. It has nothing to do with them in the room. So now we're trying to talk with the teachers and talk with the staff. Got to have a sensitive ear. Got to be understanding and listen to their heart and understand where they're coming from. We go to the next one. High numbers of fights, personal conflicts, and arguing. The beginning of September and October at Pontiac Middle School, and I only can speak for Pontiac Middle School because that's where I am. A number of conflicts that took place and a number of restorative circles, but the common denominator was social media. Airing their issues out through TikTok and through Instagram. Okay, fighting over cyberbullying, if you could say it that way. So then once we bring them into the room, we don't say, first thing we tell them is you're not in trouble. You're not about to get suspended. We just want to know what the problem may be. And most of the issues is things that's going out in the community and in the streets, and they're bringing it into the school. So the repairing part is understanding, hey, it's okay to be angry. It's okay to be frustrated. We just got to find a healthy way to do it. No one has ever told them that. We can go to this next slide. If you look at this, the norms, we don't have rules with restorative. We don't say this is the rule. The norms is respecting each other, listening to each other, the power of listening. I can humbly say that I've never had, students can be on 20 when they come into the office. I've never had a student be disrespectful in a restorative circle. I ask security not to be in the room because that can be intimidating. And they say, well, do you want us to stand outside the door? No, because that's not what this is. I want the students to feel safe because I want them to reveal whatever it is that's on their hearts. And then we look at this, cooperation brings positive results, transparency and honesty. I won't know what help you need unless you're transparent and let us know what it is. Thankful for their transparency. I'm so thankful for community honors health, I believe, Oakland University, health department, so many agencies in Pontiac have been able to send people over and help our students, but they can't help what we don't share with them. So we've been able to share. We've had a high number of students. Just recently, we did a restorative circle with a classroom 2 weeks ago. Dean Robinson and I was in there, Ms. Morrow, and the teacher was actually in there as well. And we had about 35 students in the room. You got a lot of chaos taking place. And we had a circle, and I asked some questions. And just imagine out of these 30 students, if 30 students responded with these, just imagine what a lot of our students are responding with. First question I asked is, how many of you are struggling with anger? Everybody's hand went up. I said, how many of you have had any thoughts of suicide? About 90% of their hands went up. So how many of you deal with drugs at home or violence at home? About 50% of their hands went up. Then I asked a question. I said, how many of you do not know your mother or your father? Just about every student's hand went up. Now, those were just 5 or 6 questions. That restorative circle turned into a very formal meeting till we start passing tissue out in the classroom. We had young men crying because we asked the right questions. Once we asked the right questions, Dean Robinson was able to go back, and we met and we went back to the drawing board and said, okay, now that we know these things, if this one class is revealing that they're dealing with this, can you imagine what the rest of the classes are revealing if we just ask them that question? So we're able to see through restorative circles, we're able to see what the problem is and how we can get the students the help that they need. Moving forward, this next slide this is through communities and schools, and this is just an example of one of our graphs. And don't become alarmed when you see the academic assistance is lower. If you look at that, in the largest part of the graph is behavior modifications. You can't get to the academic portion and to the scholastic excellence of a student if you don't get to the behavior modification. That's the root. I can't teach you 1 + 1. I can't teach you biology if there is anger, depression, anxiety, and frustration. And this is something that we really want the teachers to understand. The sensitivity of a teacher is really important. When a student comes into the classroom, they're not angry at you. There's a whole graph of things that these students are dealing with. And I'm hoping that in the future that our teachers will be educated with some sensitivity training, because our students have triggers. Just about every student that have come into my office have said, Mr. Sanders, I did this because she said that, or I acted this way because he said that. And they're not aware of the triggers that they're using that's causing these actions to come out. So then once the student is suspended, they go home for 5 or 6 days, come back, and we were never able to get to the root of the problem. So what happens, they repeat the same behavior, it gets suspended again, and they come back. This is why we need restorative circles, so we can find out what the root of the problem is. And then this next slide, as we get ready to conclude this pie chart represents a larger portion of the intervention that we're putting into the schools, the behavior modification and conflict resolution. I'm excited to share with you that the majority of the conflict resolutions that have taken place at the middle school, we haven't had repeated conflicts. And I'm really happy about that. When students come in with a conflict, there are some students I have not seen more than one time. Now, I'm not saying that they are angels once they leave there, but that particular conflict is done, and we're able to get to the root of that problem. And then positive engagement. Many students are learning how to engage with their conflicts in a positive manner so that they don't have to come back to the CIS office. And then last but not least, if you go to this next slide, decrease in repeated conflicts, increase in student positive interaction, and avoid additional circles. And I like this next one. It says multiple avenues of intervention. At Pontiac Middle School, we have one of the greatest support teams. Our behavior specialists, our counselors, we all work together because we know that we're trying to help these students. Ms. Rush calls it a village, and I believe that. And then this next slide, as you saw with Trinity, and I want Trinity to come back up here I want him to stand next to me, as I know he already spoke, but I take this very personal. So when Trinity first came, and I already talked to his mom about this, when Trinity first came in the months of September and October and part of November, it was a rough beginning of the year. All right, Trinity was sent to the office quite a few times. The teachers got upset. The principal got upset. I mean, it was a frustration all through the situation. But he joined CIS. We talked with the mom, and no matter how many emails the teacher sent, I said, we're going to get to the bottom of this. Now, of course, the teacher said, oh, Mr. Sanders, you're just using that faith talk. I said, but we're going to get to the bottom of this, and I believe it. So Trinity also knew that some of the teachers didn't want him in the classroom because they already assumed that he was going to make some bad choices. We brought Trinity in and did quite a number. I don't know how many restorative circles we did, but quite a few. But through those circles, Trinity started, the incentives that was put in place is what helped Trinity. And I told the teachers, start telling Trinity the positive things that he's doing. Don't say, okay, Trinity, you're bad, what you're about to do. When Trinity started hearing positive words, words that gave him hope, he enjoyed hearing that, and guess what? He started to do better. And so now, after, if you look, Trinity is representing student A on the chart. And those numbers represent the number of incidents that Trinity had. In September and October, November, you see 15, 12, and 8. These are different incidents that he had. Well, if you look at January through April, I feel like I'm in church all of a sudden. If you look at January through April, Trinity has been in my office multiple times, but he's not coming because he's in trouble. He's asking for Doritos and Oreo cookies. I would have rather a student come in and get snacks, all right? And that's part of the reward. And so as I end this presentation, I'm so thankful. Once again, when I look at Trinity,
Yes, sir.
when I look at Trinity and I look at what I do, the reason why it hits me hard, because I was a Trinity at Pontiac Northern High School. And if it weren't for people like Miss Battle and Miss Edwards and Miss King, they were the restorative for me. I was the homeless child. I was a child that was rebellious. I was getting kicked out of school. Dr. McGee, Essie McGee, had a desk in her office just for me because no teachers wanted me in their classroom. But these teachers got together and they said, Kevin, we don't care what they're saying about you. We're going to get you restored. And those teachers came together. And then we didn't have restorative circles then, but they did their own form of restorative. And so I'm thankful to be in the same district that I once had a terrible reputation because of my attitude and my behavior. And I'm pouring that same knowledge into our young people so that they can be restored. So at the end of the day, the restorative process, it works, and we're watching the results take place. And I'm hoping that we can put this in all of our schools so they can see the results too. Thank you so much.
Oh, I got you. I got you. You're right. Thank you, sir. I appreciate you so much. Comments from the board? Trustee Bowman.
Thank you, Mr. Sanders. This is an amazing program, and we do need this in all schools because oftentimes people like to point out what's going on in Pontiac School District and what we're not doing. But what we have to realize that the students of the Pontiac School District, we're a special group. Oftentimes, our students have more going on, clearly, than the average student elsewhere. So it's a wonderful thing that we are providing our children with the proper tools to be able to work through the difficulties that they may be experiencing in life. So thank you so much for putting yourself out there and standing in the gap for our children because it's needed, because there's many adults out there and people out there who rather just shine the light on the problem and continue to say our children are bad, they're not worth keeping. We as a board continue to talk about restorative practices and not just kicking out these children because we do realize that oftentimes the problems aren't in the classroom, it stems from somewhere else. So thank you. And Trinity, thank you. Thank you so much for speaking so intelligently and competently about this program because the proof is in the pudding. You're standing right here as an example on what it takes to do better. You made a conscious effort for yourself to do better, and thank you, because you don't realize moving forward, you're going to be a bright, shining light for young people and older people that's going to look up to you because you took the steps to make yourself better. So thank you so much for that.
Thank you, madam. Trustee Kraft.
Yes, Trinity, I could say the same thing. I was you back in 1977, long time ago. I was at Kennedy School. I was a good kid. I wasn't a bad kid, but I was selling candy. I was selling candy and it was against the rules. I got caught and I was put in a detention room with Mr. Arthur Williams. And at that time, you know, my grades was kind of like, but when I got in there with Mr. Williams, I had Mr. Sanders right there. And we were in a contained room where we had probably 15 kids, if that. But we had the one-on-one. We had the one-on-one. And Mr. Arthur Williams was very influential to me, progressing. And like I said, we needed those people, and we need you. And thank you for all you do.
Thank you, sir. Dr. Hannah.
I'm moved just by everything that you shared and you said, and even with Trinity, before even knowing that he was a product of the program that you were in, how impressed we were just with his ability to speak and just his energy and just his confidence. So if that is what he's gained from being under you, I can only imagine how many more kids we can see like Trinity. So thank you publicly. I know I often see you in the schools, and we just appreciate having you, and especially for our students to see a person that looks like them in the school that cares like you do. It says a whole lot. And so just thank you for being so committed to our students and for this coming from a place of passion. So thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Trustee Davis Smith. Thank you, madam.
I just wanted to thank you again, Mr. Sanders, for bringing this program to our district. It's much needed. I'm so proud of Trinity and all his accomplishments. The way he speaks is amazing because I am a female Trinity and I still have problems speaking in public like right now. But I'm very proud, and I'm just excited and overwhelmed by this this program. I'm excited. Thank you. I'm glad that I actually can really understand what it is that you're doing in the district.
Thank you, madam. Trustee Gross.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Just a couple of things, my friend. Thank you, first of all. Thank you so much. Your dedication and your commitment. And I thank you for taking on the younger kids who are now more impressionable. Because high school kids think they're grown, right? And middle school kids are more impressionable. Just a couple questions I have for you. The importance of parental participation.
The importance,
How important? Yes.
extremely important.
Okay.
Because we need the parents to be transparent and let us know, what they do. A lot of parents, I think they get CIS and CPS mixed up, and we have to tell them over and over again, we're not CPS.
Yes.
One of our sponsors if you need it, but parent engagement is so important. But when the parents see the results in the child, then the parents are starting.
I think that's important. That's why I asked that question. And how concerned or how important is the issue of mental health?
1,000,000,000%.
Okay.
The depression and anxiety, and if I could just speak for the middle school, even as early as this morning, it's high. It's higher than what I can even express in here. We have a lot of students that are mentally and emotionally torn, and they're not focused on classwork because there's a lot of things that they're broken.
That's important. That's one of the things that we talked with administration about, and that was one of their top concerns was mental health. So it's something that we're looking at too. Also, the 4 R's that you had, and you said repair was important. I think they all are important, and I understand why. But recognition is extremely important because you have, now that you've been doing this, and what you're focusing on, you can see something. I think it's extremely important, and I'm saying this to our superintendent and our board president, that this may be something that need to be taught to our teachers, is the importance of the 4 R's. And I think recognition is one, because you said something extremely important is when something happens, there's a trigger. But if you're able to recognize, I understand the things that they have to do as a teacher and what they need to do. But you can't teach a child who's not willing to be taught. And if they're not willing to be taught, you have to find out why, because they're there. During my tenure as a probation officer, I couldn't understand until I was able to learn why. I had kids who were actually fighting in school, suspended for 10 days. And I get a call from the principal who says, you got to come up here and get this kid. They're suspended and they're on probation with you. Well, the intent was not to be removed from school. It's just that they wanted to fight at that time. But they enjoyed being in school. So I didn't understand that. So you had to recognize and understand why. So some things were done to ensure this kid had nothing else because there was nothing at home. Parents weren't in the home when he was suspended. So he had to cook for himself, do for himself. Nobody was there. So we created plans to help that child. Put him in a contained room where suspended kids can go, but they don't participate with the other kids. Whatever you can be innovative. And I think that's important. And I'm glad that you're here to see that and recognize that with our children and share that information. Because listen, you wouldn't be there, we wouldn't be here, and nobody in this audience if we didn't have the kids here in this district. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I think my colleagues said it all. Mr. Saunders has been recognized across the country for some of the work that he's been doing, all inclusive to our highest office, which is Mr. President Joe Biden. Recognized him for his work that he's done. We had a chance to have a conversation with him. I did personally, just to thank him and to receive that. Not just think that it's something that everybody could do, and to receive the work that you're doing. You've been doing it for years. I've had an opportunity to speak to some of your folks in some of the rooms that you've been in. Our children, like a Trinity, when Trinity says, you ask them, Trinity Craft says, you have something to say? You say, yeah, I got something to say. That confidence, that who you are, that comes from the people that you're around. And so you can be a parent, but then we're all our parents to a certain degree. You never really stop learning how to be a parent. And so I thank you for treating all these children like your own. I thank you for the service that in your obedience to what God has called you to do, because your talents could be used anywhere else. You've tried to leave, but you stay. You've made your space. You understand what it is. Thank you for waking up each and every day, choosing, because it is a choice, to make this happen. With that being said, to all of the adults who choose to be in our district and learn and cultivate our children that come in, those who want to partnership and are partnering and looking and watching and doing all the wonderful things that you're doing, it's hard work. It's hard work. It's hard work to take a broken child and say, I want to make you whole. That's not easy to do. And you have your own family. It's not easy to do. It's not easy to sit here and want to be in a space where you're looking at something that you cannot fix. You don't get into work with children or serving everybody if you don't believe that you can fix it. And so this is the type of people and the type of information we want to get out. Again, Trinity, thank you for stepping up to that microphone and having that voice of just confidence, because what you've done in this social media age for other kids who may be watching and individuals who may need that, you gave them the confidence to say, I have something to say too. We often talk about this in board governance, and we talk about this amongst ourselves and with administration. Look, our job is not to dictate a parent to where you need to spend your kid. I'm not trying to, we're not here to convince you that we're the best educational system on the planet. We're your best option. There are a lot of options. We're your best options because we got the people here who care. And if you ever took an opportunity to really get involved, like you're going to see that you can, one, make a difference and find your people. Like every teacher can't teach everyone. That's why you have multiple people around. And so I'm just grateful for you all. And Mr. Saunders, continue to work. You're a young man. It takes that energy. It takes the volume that you have to continue to keep doing what you're doing. And again, Trinity, thank you so much for lighting a fire and making some confirmations for me today of the things that I know I'm supposed to be doing And so when you stood up and said, I have something to say, I'm standing on what I already said because of what you've said today. So thank you so much, sir, and I appreciate you, Mr. Saunders, as well. We're going to move down to the board education. It's just a discussion item of Board Policy 0144. It's not an action item, just actually just the first reading. You guys have had it. We amended the agenda, and it's around our board meetings. We're only scheduled to have 52 meetings, and that's including committee meetings. When I look back and saw the history of all the revisions from this particular policy going back to 6/15/20, they were put in place for the fact that they thought we didn't have anything to say, or we didn't have as many of the issues that we have in the district, and I mean issues where we have to make decisions. The board only can meet in a regular working meeting, whether it's a special meeting. We can have our committee meetings are open to the public. Thank you. So we make those particular decisions there. So those meetings count towards the meetings that we say that we have, and the policy says 52. I myself we can have a discussion around this, and I'll open up the floor, or we can wait to the second reading, if you will, to go to have the number 52 removed from the policy. Is virtually, and when I looked at the number, if you're saying for this district, for what we have to get through in the next 6 months, what we're asking administration to do, what we're asking our staff to do, some of the decisions with our strategic action plan, our community meetings, all those count. We go way over. We'll go way over that, and we've been over that. And so that's why I'm asking for this bylaw change. It's not necessarily a policy change, it's a bylaw change. It's how we govern how the board say we're going to govern ourselves and do business. And because we want to take care of the business of the district, I'm limited to the 52 meetings, and that's why I'm putting this up for a second reading. Okay? Any questions or comments from the board? Go ahead, sir.
Will this also be in our board governors meeting for discussion?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Okay. And our board governors meetings as well is open to the public as well. And those happen on the second week and fourth week sometimes of the month. All right. All right. Thank you. That concludes that first reading. We're going to move down to, I think we have one more on the agenda. Oh, our monthly financial report. Oh, finance. Dr. Leverett, the meeting is yours, and Mr. Peets.
Thank you. At this time, I'll turn it over to Pete for his monthly financials presentation.
Thank you. You got your jacket on today. That means we okay? We okay today?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. That's my cue. You ain't got that jacket on and them sleeves rolled up. Oh, Lord. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, so here we have our monthly financial presentation for March of 2024. The first chart is our general fund cash. Can you hear me? Okay. So beginning cash investments, 39.6 million. Ending cash investments, 37.8 million. Minimal activity. Obviously, at the start of the year, we get our property taxes and our main revenues. We start to eat away at that during the year with payroll and accounts payable, but really nothing stands out as atypical. Our PA-18, we received payment through Oakland Schools for county special ed tax there of 1.3 million. But other than that, our general fund cash position is healthy for March. So here we have, again, our monthly historic cash flow chart with and without the tax anticipation note, which was $8.5 million this year. Again, the key takeaway here is that the purple bars are higher than all the other bars. The purple bar is the current fiscal year, meaning that our cash flow is much better than it has been in the preceding years. So that's good news, obviously. Our goal, again, is to wean ourselves off the $8.5 million tax anticipation note to get us out of general fund debt, interest expense, and attorney fees. The negative, unfortunately, is obviously it's going to reduce fund balance, but our fund balance was artificially propped up with the TAN back several years ago, but that's our goal. Now we have our general fund revenue pie charts by major class. On the right is March of 2024. On the left is fiscal year to date, July through March. On the pie chart on the right, current fiscal month, 49% of our revenue is state aid. We're just getting caught up in our department. We had some shortages in staffing this year, so we're just getting caught up. In green, that's 36% for grants. That's federal grant reimbursements. On the left, fiscal year to date, our biggest revenue at this point is property taxes. We collect those in July, August, September. That's the biggest chunk of our revenue so far. 21% in red is our state aid that we just mentioned. And in the green, the 27%, federal grants, again, a big chunk of that, $7.2 million, was an ESSER reimbursement for the retention bonus that we had in December. In orange, that's other. That's the $9.1 million electric bus grant proceeds we've talked about before. But otherwise, the general fund revenue composition is reasonable through March. General fund expenditures, again, pie charts by function code. On the right, March 24 only. On the left, fiscal year to date. So in blue, on the right pie chart, 50% of our expenses were for instruction cost. That's teacher salaries, benefits, classroom supplies, purchase services, EduStaff, those kind of expenses. So that's directly in the classroom. That is to be expected. That's going to be our highest percentage of expenses. In red, we have 9% pupil services, counseling, social workers, therapists. In green, there at 7%, we have transportation. 14% in blue, a little higher is our maintenance cost. And the left pie chart, fiscal year to date, again, 35% instruction cost. And we have an orange, 14%, that's our debt service, that's our $8.5 million TAN payment that we made earlier in the year. 16% in purple is other, which again is that $7.2 million retention bonus from December. Otherwise, our general fund expenditure composition is reasonable for this time of the year. General fund budget to actual chart here. So on the left is your current budget as amended in February, budget amendment number 1. Toward the bottom here, as we stand, our surplus is budgeted for $207,000. Again, we're going to amend that shortly. As of now, we've got some expenditures running over budget, such as subs and textbooks, but we are getting a good windfall from interest income, which is above what we expected, so that's a plus. So hopefully the goal is to stay above break even for this year. Fund balance, 18.1%. In terms of variations compared to prior year, federal running higher because of those because of the ESSER's retention reimbursement. Other financing sources modification running higher than last year because of the $9.1 million electric bus grant revenues. Salaries, a little bit higher. Again, that retention bonus plays a part in that. But overall, nothing significant compared to prior year. Food service, as we talked about before, we budgeted a surplus of $30,000. We're hoping to do much better than that, at least $100,000. We have a small fund balance of $25,000, so we have no margin for error. Our goal is to right-size this and make it, we're a CEP district, meaning we should be doing much better financially in food service. So we definitely are planning on doing better this year, but next year it needs to be significantly better with our point-of-sale systems and everything in place. So we're monitoring this fund closely. Sinking fund, beginning cash investments, $10.2 million, ending cash investments about the same. Minimal activity, got some property taxes, interest, and some repairs, but overall a very healthy cash position. Now our bond summary. So our three revenue buckets for our bond projects. The first on the left, Series 1, 2, and 3, the bond proceeds totaling about $147 million with some interest income thrown in. Bucket 2 is a sinking fund where we've allocated $11.5 million for bond projects. And the third bucket is our ESSERs 1, 2, and 3, about $12.5 million. We also have, again, interest income, E-rate, and some other items on there. So our total revenues on the far right there, $174 million we have budgeted for our bond. Total expenditures, as we talked about before, running a little higher at $188 million, creating a deficit right now of $14.4 million. We talked about that before. With our new construction manager, we'll have to intervene, curtail some projects, or potentially move projects to a potential new bond if we have one in the near future. And emergency purchases that required board approval, there were none. We're right now in the budget amendment, budget adoption process. Our meetings will start on Thursday, so we'll start getting into the weeds on all that. So that's all I have. Thank you for your time.
Okay, any questions from the board? Okay, I have a few questions, and we talked about this a little bit, so I want to kind of get a little bit more clarity since we get into budget cycle. So the sub component that you spoke on, is that what is the sub and the sub, not subcontractors, but subs for our classrooms, but then also the textbooks? What kind of textbooks? Like, we're in the middle of March, like what?
Well, this is for year-to-date, so we like
Okay.
science textbooks, things like that I've noticed. Again, I didn't put the original budget together, but they're running over what the original budget is as of this point. I don't know that we're purchasing any more, but we're over budget for where we're at.
Is that a curriculum expenditure?
Yes,
Okay.
for the most part, yeah.
So,
So we had originally ordered textbooks, and then we had to order some additional science materials. So that's what the overage is for.
okay. Okay, all right, thank you. And the second question is, the 14 million, and we talked about that as far as the bond, that's just us having a discussion around basically what projects can we move to another one, like you said previously, and then, okay.
Right, yep.
This 50 in bond, the 59, so that's, the remaining of $50 million is what we have that we can use as far as bond funding is concerned, correct?
Yeah, we spent, 104 million, so yes, 59 plus we got sinking fund and, ESSER's money also in addition to that, so.
Okay. We hadn't, okay, thank you. No, that's it. All right, thank you. Any other questions? I'm sorry, all right, thank you. Moving forward, we're going to move down to, thank you, sir. We're going to move down to student catastrophic insurance annual renewal. That kind of threw me off right there, like, why we got that kind of insurance? Discussion and action item. Dr. Leverett?
Yes, thank you.
Oh, Pete, I think you're the presenter.
I'm going to turn it over to Pete. This item is for discussion and action
Okay.
with the student catastrophic accident insurance with First Agency. Pete?
Thank you. So, okay, so this is the Student Catastrophic Accident Insurance Fund. This is a renewal policy which covers students of the district for school-sponsored and supervised student activities, including athletics and sponsored group travel. There is a 5.1% increase in the base premium.
No, go ahead. No,
Okay, sorry. In the base premium and 20.2% increase in the athletic and student medical catastrophic premium for 24-25. However, it's only representing a $1,790 increase, so not significant. It's the first such increase in 10 years. The renewal dates are August 1st, 2024 through July 31st of 2025. So it is a recommendation of the administration, the Board of Education approve the renewal of the student catastrophic accident insurance for the period of August 1st, 2024 through July 31st of 2025 as presented.
All right, thank you. The VP was just explaining to me with the EpiPens and defibrillators and things of that nature, so, okay. All right, awesome, thank you. Any questions from the board? Okay. We're going to move down to action item approval of student catastrophic insurance annual renewal. Need a motion on the floor, please.
So moved.
Moved by trustee Bowman, supported by trustee Davis Smith. Questions, comments, or concerns? Hearing none, roll call.
VP Gross.
Yes.
I'm voting yes. Treasurer Terry.
Yes.
Trustee Bowman.
Yes.
Trustee Kraft.
Yes.
Trustee Davis Smith. Yes. And President Garrett.
Yes.
Passes 7-0.
All right, awesome, thank you. Some insurance for our children, I appreciate that, thank you so much. We're going to move down to communications, petitions, and delegations. VP, the meeting is yours.
Thank you, sir. This evening, Mr. President, we have two cards here tonight. And the first person to speak is Ms. Carol Turpin. And I want to make sure I read this right. Is that courageous?
I changed, so I'm going to talk about something that
Yeah.
I have to stick to that.
No, you're fine.
No, you got
After hearing the presentation from Member Sanders, I want to comment on that. Is that okay?
Yes, you first. So you
Hold
go
on,
right
are you
ahead.
asking us that, okay?
Yes.
You've been on the board for 12 years, and you're asking us that, okay? You've been the board president.
I'm being respectful, and I
Oh,
don't want to
okay.
assume that I can do that.
Yeah, it's the district, not the city. You can talk about what you want.
Okay. So greetings, everyone. My name is Carol Turpin.
Good evening.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
I had thought about talking about something else, but I was truly grateful for the restorative practices program that has been initiated in the I do it again.
Yeah.
In
Thank
the
you, ma'am.
district. And one of the things that I noticed is, I remember reading an article a long time ago about leading with love. So, Mr. Sanders, I really want to commend you because I think you really lead because you care about these students. And one thing about students, they know when people care about them. And that's probably why they open up. That's why you have been successful. And it's also important that you have data to show the outcomes of your program. I won't go into that, but, we want to make sure that what we have is yielding the results that you want to show in the district. So with that being said, this is for the board to consider. I was online today and I noticed some school districts, boards have their packets online. I would like to see if you all would consider having the packet information online where people can download it or even review it, whether that's a legal problem. No, I mean, for example, like tonight you had presentations. In the board packet, that information would be presented in the board packet so that people can read it or see it and understand what is going on in a meeting. I think that would be helpful.
And I'm not going to take away from your time, but I just wanted to clear that up because you said it's in the board docs that's online.
Okay, so I looked at the minutes and from the meeting and I didn't see that. Maybe I'll go back and look again. I don't want to accuse anyone of doing, but I'm just saying if you go to Berkeley School District, you'll see how they really share that information with the community. Not everything in the packet, but so like, for example, the restorative practice data or presentation could be in the packet for the community to see and to understand. That's all I'm saying. I'm sure you don't want to do everything, but if you're highlighting successful stories and successful programs, that would really help. So with that being said, I think I'm going to end the conversation. But this is the first time I've been back since I've not been a board member. So I just want to say that I will talk about courageous conversations in the next meeting. And the courageous conversation is about student achievement and how we can work together as a community to make sure that we're doing all we can, because it is a sense of urgency. Our children can't wait. When they graduate, they need to have some basic knowledge and skills so they can go out in the world and be successful. So thank you for your time, and I'm really pleased about the restorative practices. Oh, I want to say congratulations to all the students who received recognition, but I also want to thank the parents, because without those parents, they would not be able to achieve what they've achieved. So parents, thank you for being involved in your child's life and education.
Thank you.
Thank you, madam.
The next is Autumn Butler.
She left.
Did she?
Yes, she did. She said to pick up the board.
Oh, okay. Okay. Thank you. That will be it, Mr. President.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to move down to board comments and announcements. Trustee Kraft.
This past Friday, I had the pleasure of officiating. Everybody know I'm a basketball official. If you don't know, I've been doing it for 30 years. But to go over to the high school and officiate the staff student basketball game. I'm going to make my public apology to all the students that played. I cheated for the for the staff and faculty.
Really?
We couldn't go out like that. And the game was won on a buzzer. Can you believe it? So I'm going to apologize to my kids. I know they love me and everything, and I love them. But it's just like the Harlem Globetrotters and the Washington Generals. You cannot beat the Harlem Globetrotters, which were the staff. So I apologize, and I will be cheating again next year. Thank you.
Okay, awesome. Trustee Bowman.
It's a wonderful meeting, And I would just like the community to continue to be mindful about the mental health crisis that plagues our community. It is not just a Pontiac thing, as we're noticing and hearing things throughout the world. Mental health is a worldwide thing that we need to put at the forefront of things. If we expect our community and school district to progress forward, we need to take a strong approach in regards to mental health. That is at the forefront in how we can continue to get better. Because if you're not taking your mental health and making that a priority, that's a thing. And as long as we continue to equip our youth with the proper tools to continue to excel in life, centered around mental health and wellness. So I'm grateful for this board. I'm grateful for this community because we are the phoenix. We continue to thrive and rise throughout the ashes no matter what happens in this community. And there's a lot that happens in this community, but we continue to persevere and move forward. So I'm grateful to serve in the capacity, to stand in the balance and the gap, and I'm grateful for everyone who wants to be here, everyone who wants to pour into our community and our district and our children. Thank you so much, because oftentimes it's a thankless job. I appreciate any and everyone who's focused on the success and betterment of this district, and thank you for the individuals who's pushing forward solutions and not continuing to harp on the problems that we may have. Problems are there, but if we focus on the solutions, we can move much further faster. So thank you to all of my colleagues. Thank you to the community for just showing up. We appreciate you. And as our former president used to say, you can be anywhere in the world, but you choose to be here with us. So thank you so much, and have a good evening.
All right. Thank you, ma'am. Trustee Davis-Smith. Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening. So, my trustees said it all, but I just want to say again to all our students, congratulations on your awards. Thank you again, Trinity, for speaking. You did an excellent job, and I'm very proud of you. Also, thank you, Mr. Sanders, again, for all that you do. Besides at the middle school, I know you do other things, so thank you for just loving and trusting in our kids. I want to also say again that it is a must that our parents be involved in their children's education. I know I say it all the time, but it is very crucial for our students to know that they have that support at school as well as at home. And not just parents, but just family members in general can stand in, and it makes a difference for our children. And also, I had a great time at Decision Day, so thank you for inviting me. It was a very nice event, and I was happy to see all our students. So thank you and have a good night. I'll see you guys all month, I guess, on a sweet truck. So let's see what school I pop up at with treats.
Thank you. Treasurer, how you doing, sir?
I'm gonna keep it sweet. Congratulations to all the awardees and everyone that's doing awesome jobs. Continue to keep up the good work. And then also want to say to Mr. Sanders, continue to do what you do. Continue to do what you do. Changing lives is a major impact. And obviously we all know that, our district struggles. And as you mentioned, and I think that'll be a great idea also, maybe to include some parents, just so they can have that understanding. And I know there's other opportunities out there as well, but just to have that in the district itself and being able to touch someone at that young age to change their life around is very impactful. It's very impactful, very impactful. So continue to do what you do and keep up the good work. And then everyone else that provided reports, thank you for that information, duly noted, and we will continue to push forward. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, sir. Madam Secretary, Dr. Hannah.
Yeah. Again, I want to just say congratulations to our students that were recognized tonight. We do appreciate their hard work, even though in their absence, we do appreciate their hard work and their teachers. Mr. Sanders, and this is to all of our teachers and staff in recognition of Teacher Appreciation Week. There's a quote that says, "People might often forget what you do, but they'll never forget how you made them feel." And so the work that you do and the work that so many of our teachers and staff members do, it is so important. You mentioned that a lot of our kids come to school with the weight of the world. They bring their home life into the classroom. They bring their issues in the community into the classroom. So we know that this is a lot for our teachers and for our staff to deal with. But I think it's safe to say on behalf of the board that we appreciate the commitment. We appreciate you guys continuing to come and show up every day and just continuing to care and be there for our students. So thank you. Again, as we've already iterated, why parent involvement is so important. Every time we identify the successes of our students and talk about how good they're doing, like the Trinity, it's because of the parents. And it's obvious that the parents have some type of impact because they brought them here, for one, but then we know that they're also involved with them at home. So if we can continue to see more parents doing that, like Trinity's mom, it will make a huge difference in the life of our schools as well as in the classroom and with our teachers and staff. So we again just really want to encourage our parents to be there and be a part of their child's educational journey. And then the last thing I want to say is congratulations to the class of 2024. Decision Day was awesome. They were so happy. And so that was a good feeling for us. Just to see them happy made us happy. So I'm looking forward to graduation on May 23rd. But thanks to Ms. De'Ara Matthews, as well as Coco Mulder and all the other staff and organizations that helped to bring about Decision Day for Pontiac High School and ITA. It was a very successful event. So thanks.
Thank you, Dr. Hannah. Trustee Gross.
Thank
How
you,
you
my
doing?
friend.
You all right?
I'm good.
Oh, okay.
I'm good at this time. I'm
Good,
good. It's the most difficult part when you go last. All your trustees have said everything, but I'll just add a little bit more to it, and I'll be brief. I too had a wonderful time. Listen, to me, and I'm just speaking as an independent board member, and I'm into my 12th year as a school board member, and I got all unbeat, and that part I'm number one. My brother told me I'll always be number two to him, so. But there is no greater joy for me is to see the face of a child that smiles in school. And it was a joy for me at Decision Day. And I think every day in a child's life is important. But when it comes to school, I think there's two important days. One is Decision Day, because it gives our seniors the opportunity to say where they're going, what they're going to do to further their lives, whether it's college, military, or even just a technical position. And they did that, and they brought them on stage, and to see the faces of these children. And when they got up on stage to represent their colleges, of course, OU had over half of the seniors that were there. But I can't say Michigan State had more than U of M. But the joy to see on their faces and then to speak with them as we went on to lunch, it was great. And they come and sit at the table, Mr. Gross, and it's just to see that, unspeakable joy. And then the next important day is graduation day, because it not only allows us, administration and teachers, but the parents to see the fruit of their labor from kindergarten to 12th grade, and to get on that stage and say, this is what we all did. I think that is what we're here for. All these technical things is only to provide the best we can. But our goals is to get our kids from where? Kindergarten through the 12th grade with the best education possible. So this is why we do this. It's not about adult stuff. It's not about adult problems and concerns in the district. It's about getting our kids from, Mrs. Terry is over there, preschool through 12th grade.
She gave you that look.
She did. I had to change that quick. That's what's important here. And to hear it from the mouth of a 6th grade student. Spoke well. Thought about what he was going to say. And presented himself boldly. I think times have changed, Doc. Now we need our parents to start acting like some of their children. It's important. It's not a slap in the parent's face. Mom is learning as much as her son is. You agree, right? That's where you go. But thank God you're there for him. But you had the willingness to allow someone else to tell your child what you see. I think I said something there, Rev. Thank you. That's why it's important that we get good with our parents. Because the president said it plain and simple. Parenting never stops. Each child affects each other, so everyone has to be on one accord. I appreciate what we're doing here. Graduation is May 23rd, and I am so looking forward to that. And I'm so looking forward to seeing the faces of our children and the smiles that they have, because their smiles just gives me energy. And I love every minute of this position. And I'm going to be who I am. I'm going to do what I got to do. And I'm going to keep on keeping on. And I appreciate you.
All right. Thank you, sir. Thank y'all so much. Again, decision day was amazing. Had an opportunity to kind of see it through the eyes of social media and other people. Man, Trinity, thank you, man. Thank you. Thank you. I want to thank the Oakland County Ministerial Fellowship Alliance, that group. I had a chance to meet with the Education Committee today, and we had a very healthy, and out of the words of Dr. Turpin and Ms. Turpin, a very courageous conversation. We have adults in our community, and I won't focus on this, but let's just say that really care about our kids. And they really care about how we educate our kids. And they really care about how we're doing it. You gotta understand that they may not have the time that we have, and they don't see everything that we see. And what I had to explain, and they allowed me to explain in this meeting, is that we got elected for a reason to do a job, and you don't expect me to come back to you asking for an opinion about something you asked me to do. What you asked me to do, I should be willing and able to do. And if I'm not, go get the knowledge to do it. I shouldn't bring you back excuses. I pride myself on that, knowing how we do things here in Pontiac. I'm familiar and I get to serve and be across the country, but when I go, I talk about Pontiac. We have children who come to us. All of our children are not broken. All of our parents are not just taking. I don't speak with a deficit mindset. I speak from a space of victory. Like everything that I had to be to get to where I'm at right now, I had to be that. Everything that Trinity had to be up until this very moment of his life, he had to be that. He beat it. We beat it. We all have challenges. I'm going to say this to folks who continue to want to try to make a division. You just don't know enough about us to understand that type of stuff don't work. That's old stuff. And to the folks who just come in and drop in the community, get what you get, and you leave, and you go back out, just know that you're doing it here. And where you're getting your ability to do. We don't have the have and the have-nots. So let me address this, and I'm going to make it perfectly clear. When I made the comment when I spoke to the youth at Youth and Government on April 18th, and I talked about how the 9 through 12 at ITA and 9 to 12 at the high school deserve to have the same opportunities, and they deserve to socially be involved with each other, and they deserve to have the same experiences and exposure that each school has. I meant that. And I didn't ask the adults. I asked the children. Thank God I recorded it, because we have some people who ran out of this room and started a little bit of a rumor that we were shutting down ITA. Which was just like unbelievable. I'm just saying, speaking as an individual trustee, we don't have the have and the have-nots. We have students. And if black and brown students can't learn to get along at home, how do I expect them to survive in a world that don't care because they black and brown? We have CTE programs that we are managing through the system that's going to be the forefront of workforce development in our community. We at the edge of it. We have EVO busing systems and charging stations and technology that's here. We have the infrastructure. Like, we're leading it across the country. And all of our students who are graduating or making their way through our high schools should have the opportunity to have that decision to work with that type of technology. Kids who are at Pontiac High should have the right to be able to be in college prep programs if they so desire. Kids who want to be engineers in our robotics programs should have the right to be in a CTE program that's going to teach them mechanical engineering as they flow through the system. They have a right to do that. The money is dried up. If you cannot find a way to make sure that everybody has access, then what are we doing? And what are we creating? So to the adults, leave out of the room today and say this: we are not closing ITA. We are considering in the year, another year and a half, we're having a conversation. We didn't do it this year. For next year, we're having a conversation for years to come. How do we get the 9 through 12 grade people that come through who's in ITA? You're still going to be in ITA. Do you choose to be at Pontiac High? You still going to choose to be at Pontiac High? How do we get you to have the best experience you need to get you out of here? So when we measure that 13th year, we need to know what it looks like for them. Are they successful adults when they go off into this workforce development? When we have businesses that come in that want to do business with him, are we giving them the most solid product coming out of Oakland County? That's not a hard choice or a hard decision. That's what it's supposed to be. So I know who set the rumor. I know who's starting the division. I know exactly where it came from. You just need to hear it out of my mouth. We don't have to have and the have-nots of black kids and brown kids, because they get killed the same when they're not equipped to do what they need to do in this country we call America. Outside of these four walls, they don't care if they went to an ITA, a CPLA, you call it whatever you want to. But if they can't survive out there in them streets and survive to wherever everybody else is learning to work together, we have the highest unemployment rate in Oakland County, and we got the nerves to divide children. So when I asked them, Thank God I recorded it. Thank God it was an impromptu. Administration didn't know about it. I asked the students what you thought about it. And you had some that said, no, I ain't with that. Then you had some, no, we should. Guarantee you we should do that. Yes, we should. And Mr. Garrett, I knew where you was going when you asked the question. And then we continue to have more conversations about it. So I go to the children, the one that is going to affect, not necessarily the people who's paid to implement it. Because you're going to have your own opinion. Some people are only thinking about their jobs. So let me clear it up for you. It's the ITA program and everything is involved. It's just changing putting folks together. Putting the students together so they can learn together. So they can have the same opportunity. That's what they want. And in my mind, in the process of who we are, that's what we should give them. We cannot keep creating a divide because you think this person over here is special because they're a little bit more light-skinned than the person that's over here. And that's what's been done. We're not doing it. I'm not going to be a part of that. And so that may create an atmosphere where somebody says, I think I'm better than you. Okay, fine. We'll welcome you back with open arms when you see them kids graduating in multiple CTE programs and millions of dollars these kids are making and showing out like a Trinity. So Trinity in the 6th grade, I got less than 5 years to get what I need done. So I guarantee you I'm going to get it done for him. Thank you, Trinity. I get to stand tall on what I said because you said what you said. And I wasn't going to let that be. So I'm going to handle the folks who started the rumors, both in-house and out. And when I mean handle, because we don't want you to feel like you're threatening you. We're going to make it plain to you as stop scaring our kids. You stop being the bully. You stop creating division. You stop saying what you will and will not do and creating an atmosphere of chaos. We have to live here with it. We have to be here with it. And that's what I mean when I say we're going to deal with it. Okay? So we clear on that. I would hate to get another anonymous letter. Need a motion on the floor to adjourn.
So moved.
Moved by Trustee Bowman, supported by Trustee Gross. Questions, comments, or concerns? Oh, good night at home. Roll call.
I'm voting yes. Treasurer Terry.
Yeah, we can roll out.
Trustee Bowman.
Yes.
Trustee Kraft.
Yes.
Trustee Davis Smith.
Yes.
President Garrett.
Yes.
And VP Gross.
I'm last tonight.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. All right. Thank you guys for joining us. Appreciate y'all staying with us. Trinity, if you could stay, we'd like to get a board picture with you before we leave for this evening. Those who are at home, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Please continue to share the great news that's happening in the Pontiac School District because great things do happen here. So good